Keanu Reeves drives down the same road he always does. The morning sun casts a soft glow, the world still waking up. As he passes a familiar house, there's usually a small moment that makes him smile. A girl standing on her porch, waving. It's nothing big, just a simple everyday thing. But today, something is different. She's not there. At first, it's easy to brush off. Maybe she slept in. Maybe she's inside. Maybe it's nothing. But something tugs at him. A quiet feeling deep in his gut that won't let go. You ever had that? That weird, nagging thought that something isn't right, even when there's no clear reason why. Keanu did. And the next thing he did? It proved that sometimes, listening to that feeling can make all the difference. Quick cuts, Keanu driving. The girl waving. An empty porch. She wasn't anyone famous. Just a regular teenage girl, living in a quiet neighborhood. Every morning, as Keanu Reeves drove by, she'd step onto her porch and wave. It wasn't something planned or special. It just became a thing they did. She waved, he waved back. Simple. But day after day, it turned into something more. A little routine. A silent understanding. Keanu wasn't the kind of person to ignore people. He had a reputation for being down to earth. Someone who actually saw others, instead of just passing them by. So, no matter how busy he was, no matter what kind of day he was having, he always waved back. It wasn't much, but in a world that moves too fast, small moments like that matter. A tiny connection, the kind you don't even realize means something, until it's gone. Every morning, without fail, she was there. As Keanu drove by, she'd step onto her porch, give a little wave, and he'd wave back. It wasn't planned, it wasn't anything big, just something that happened. But that's how routines work. You don't really think about them until they change. Think about your own life. Maybe it's the way your dog greets you at the door. The good morning text from a friend. That one neighbor who always waters their plants at the same time every day. These little moments don't seem important, but they add up. They become part of the rhythm of life. Keanu, despite being busy, wasn't the kind of person to ignore details. He noticed people, remembered faces, paid attention, and after seeing the girl wave every day, it became part of his day too. Maybe it even gave him a sense of normalcy, a small, familiar thing in a world that often felt unpredictable. But then, one morning, something was different. That morning, as Keanu drove past her house, he glanced toward the porch like he always did. But this time, she wasn't there. No wave. No sign of her at all. At first, he told himself it was nothing. Maybe she had overslept. Maybe she was busy. Kids have things to do, right? But something about it felt off. He couldn't explain it. It was just a small change, barely anything, but it stuck with him. His mind started running through possibilities. Maybe she wasn't feeling well. Maybe she had left early for school. There were plenty of logical reasons why she might not be there. And yet, the uneasy feeling in his gut wouldn't go away. It was that strange little voice, the one that whispers before your brain even understands why. Keanu couldn't shake the feeling. He had places to be, a schedule to follow, but none of it seemed to matter in that moment. So, instead of driving on, he turned around. As he pulled up in front of her house, something felt off. The place looked the same, but there was an eerie stillness to it. No movement inside, no sounds, no sign of her. He stepped out of his car and walked up to the door. He knocked once. Waited. Nothing. He knocked again, louder this time. Still no answer. That's when he noticed something. Maybe it was a window left open just a crack. Or maybe it was a faint noise from inside. A sound that didn't belong. His chest tightened. Something wasn't right. Keanu called out her name. No response. His heartbeat picked up. At that moment, he had two choices. Walk away and assume everything was fine, or trust his gut and do something. He made his choice. Taking a deep breath, he reached for his phone. Or maybe he tried the door first, just to see. Either way, in the next few moments, he would find out exactly why she hadn't waved that morning. And the answer would change everything. The door wasn't locked. Keanu pushed it open and stepped inside, calling her name again. Still nothing. His stomach tightened. That feeling, that quiet alarm in the back of his mind, was screaming now. Then he saw her. She was on the floor, unconscious. Maybe she had collapsed from dehydration, Maybe it was an undiagnosed illness, or maybe she had taken a bad fall and couldn't move. Whatever it was, she needed help. Fast. Keanu didn't waste a second. He rushed to her side, checked if she was breathing, then grabbed his phone and called for help. As he waited for paramedics to arrive, he couldn't stop thinking about how close this was to going unnoticed. If he had ignored that feeling, if he had just kept driving, she might have been lying there for hours, maybe longer. It hit him then. The small things matter. A simple wave. A brief moment of attention. Noticing when something feels off. People go through their lives so caught up in their own worlds that they don't always see what's right in front of them. But today he had seen. He had listened to that quiet voice in his head. And because of that, she was going to be okay. The girl made a full recovery. Her family was beyond grateful, thanking Keanu over and over for not just noticing, but for acting. If he hadn't trusted that feeling in his gut, things could have ended very differently. It's easy to overlook the little things. A simple wave, a familiar face, a routine so small that it barely seems to matter. But this story proves otherwise. Sometimes the smallest moments turn into the most important ones. Keanu didn't have to stop. He didn't have to check. But he did. And because of that, a life was saved. So, the next time something feels off, listen. Trust your instincts. Pay attention to the people around you. Because you never know, one small act of kindness might just change everything. And maybe, just maybe, this story proves that sometimes superheroes don't wear capes. They just drive by and wave back.